Fall is here and winter is coming, and you need to shop Lowe's Customs. For the ladies, there's stunning designs and colors. For the men, Lowe can make something manly to keep your insecurities in check. But wait, there's more. For you simps, there's a special Simp Edition, where Lowe will roll around in it, blow smoke from the finest Southern Eastern American marijuana. She'll even rub her pretty feet all over it just for you. So what are you waiting for? Shop Lowe's Customs now, exclusively on the John Galt Urban Landlord channel. Let Lowe help you stay cozy and warm this season. Shop Lowe's Customs today.
Can't argue with the numbers. The numbers are the numbers. Drake knows the business. It's all about the singles. Damn, I have.
Now you got me like in my Ja Rule kind of mode, John Galt. Like just talk about like rap music. One of my favorite songs of Ja Rule was "Put It On Me." I die if you ain't with me. So baby girl, put it on me. What would I do without you? I only think about you. I was tired and lonely. So baby girl, put it on me, on me.
10 more seconds and Ja Rule get a screen for this. Keep going.
Who would I be without my baby? The style on my break, man. I don't wanna go crazy. So every thug needs a lady, lady.
I think Ja Rule just got paid for that one.
Kamala, you're fired. Get out of here. You're fired.
I can dig it. I can dig it. I can dig it. Apologies to the chat, to the Urban Landlord, John Galt Universe. We had some technical difficulties. I'm expecting a update on StreamYard's end. For some reason, they're having some connection issues, probably some server issues. A lot of companies been getting hacked lately, so maybe StreamYard servers probably are getting hacked or something. So we're having some issues, and we had this great conversation going where we're talking about white European standards. I pretty much balled Stanley up in that argument. Um, that there are no such thing as white European standards of beauty.
Uh,
Um,
I can I just thought actually while we were down, I can
uh-huh.
pretty much redeem myself.
Well, let me lay out my argument first, real quick, and then I have you redeem yourself. Now, when people tend to lean towards this white European standards of beauty, what they're really talking about is the supermodel aesthetic. Now, you're talking about girls that are 16, 17, 18. Usually that's when they start modeling. Super tiny women deprive themselves of food, smoke a lot of cigarettes, sniff a lot of cocaine. And you have all different shades of women with this specific body type. Usually the body type is akin to a young boy's body type, and very thin, very frail. However, just because it's the standard of beauty in the supermodel world doesn't mean that it's the standard of beauty to most men. Most men, you know, size 8, size 9, you know, not too skinny, not too fat. That's the sweet spot right there. Most men are, you know, you like you like what you like. There's some guys that like super small girls, super skinny girls, super fat girls. There's a range, but most guys they're kind of in the 7, 8, 9 range. That's like the sweet spot. Now, women who complain about this system of oppression, this white European beauty standards, usually they're ugly, usually they're fat, usually they're out of shape, usually they're bald-headed, scallywags. Usually they ain't got no hair on the back, jailed up, weaved up. Their edges is all fucked up. Usually they can't compete because they're so ugly that they want to use every excuse why they can't get a man, why they can't get attention. Totally disregarding that they're overweight, that their teeth are fucked up, their skin is disgusting looking, they got a shitty attitude. So this idea of white European beauty standards is really created by ugly, liberal, fat women who don't want to compete, and it's capitalized on by beauty companies, makeup companies that want to make you women feel like you're not attractive if you don't look a certain way. It's all about capitalism at the end of the day. So there is no real standard. It's just capitalism. It's just capitalism. That's all it really is. Go ahead, Stanley.
Okay, you got one thing right that is persistent in the historical, very quick historical argument I'm going to make.
Mm-hmm.
It is about capitalism.
Yeah.
Everything else you said is based in 2024. Race in America.
Wait, let me ask you this question.
You'll get to ask questions in about 2 minutes.
Okay, go ahead, Stanley.
Okay, race in America is based on skin color, correct?
Among other things, yeah.
Okay, but let's just stick to skin color. Europeans tend to be light-skinned or white, correct? If you're scared to answer about 2024, let's go back to 1663. Maybe that'll make it easier for you. Back in 1663, actually probably up until 1965, white people were generally light-skinned and very distinguishable from black people and other races, correct?
Allegedly.
Okay, you say allegedly. I think you know that I'm right here. European beauty standard, light skin, everything else, not white. Very simple explanation of a European beauty standard.
So what you're saying,
race in America is literally based on a European feature which was considered beautiful. There, I can bring up historic examples if I must, but simple explanation of European beauty standard based on history and based on 2024.
Is prime Gabrielle Union, was she hot
Okay,
or not?
do not do this because I'm not going to entertain bullshit any longer.
Stanley, answer the question.
Race in America is based on a European feature. Yes or no?
Answer the question,
yes
Stanley.
Or no. But before I can answer the question, I need to gather while you're asking the question.
No. I think you're talking about supermodel
Okay, no,
standards,
what
supermodel standards.
I literally said I would redeem myself. I didn't talk supermodels. I talked American history. I talked about the history of race in America, what it is based on.
So you're saying back in the 20s and 30s there weren't hot black women?
That's not what I'm saying, HB.
What?
See, you're trying to build on shit. I took it down to skin color. Do not
Okay,
deviate from
okay,
skin color. If
okay,
you
okay.
deviate from skin color, you're just adding on to my argument and building basically a Tower of Babel.
So Pam Grier, was she
Okay,
hot?
of course, Pam Grier was around when race was invented or instituted in America. Of course, that makes sense to talk about Pam Grier.
Gabrielle Union, prime Gabrielle Union, was she hot, Stanley?
Um, Based on what standard?
Based
Does
on your,
Gabrielle Union have her own standard?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Prime Gabrielle Union was
You know what?
fucking gorgeous.
I forgot what a true humanitarian you are. You don't go for looks at all. You go for the inner Gabrielle Union. And
No,
inside
no,
we're all the same, right?
no. Inner Gabrielle Union is a monster. I don't agree what she's
I
done
think
with
you get my point about a European beauty standard.
What I'm saying is your European beauty standards, I think, is a lie. And to
Oh,
propagate
it's a
it,
lie. Race
I
is a
think
lie.
I think to propagate it though, it's actually doing more damage than good. Because
Okay,
it
okay.
because if you make
Are you proposing we ignore it?
no, we say that it's a lie. There is no European beauty standard.
Okay, but saying it's a lie doesn't make it go away. My original premise was knowing that race exists and it can be affecting. Knowing that helps me avoid being oppressed by it.
Well, I'm trying to help out people that may be listening. Maybe there's a young black woman listening right now,
Maybe,
and
you know
and
what?
she
Maybe there are a bunch of HBs who are in denial.
I'm not in denial. I'm saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying the white European beauty standard does not exist. I'm saying it's a
Does
far
race
left.
not exist?
Of course, race exists. Of
Okay.
course,
What is race based on?
it's based on you basically being more comfortable around your own people, pretty much.
Yeah, race is based on comfort. Tell that to the slaves.
Well, I don't think they really had a choice in it. I don't think they really had a choice. But race and slavery are two different things, Stanley. They're two different things.
Okay, you're literally, I explained it to you. I can lead an HB to the truth, but I can't make but I can't make him accept it.
Stanley, I think you're delusional, and I
I
think
think
this.
I am literally I think you know what? I'll just have to take it. I'm not going to go round and round with you.
No,
The longer I go down into your vortex, less less likely I'm going to make it back to reality.
oh, come on. I think that's a compliment. I think, Stanley, I just think the idea of the white European standard of beauty is so overblown. There's so many races of beautiful women out here. And if you want to keep it real, a lot of times white women try to look like other races of women. Even though, yes, in society they have been propped up, but I think in reality, they're not the standard of beauty. Just because they've been propped up by media
They're
and
not the
Hollywood.
standard of beauty in 2024. Go back to in the 70s, was it Beverly? What's Beverly's last name? The first black supermodel. I can't. It was Beverly. Someone will have to help me out.
See,
Okay,
and
no,
that's
please
the
let me
thing.
finish my point. We didn't get a black woman close enough to a European beauty standard until the 70s. And as we have progressed over the next 40 to 50, well, probably 50 years, we have gotten a lot more, we've expanded what a beauty standard is. I'm saying that there is still a European beauty standard. And as the browning of America goes forward, I'd say maybe in 100 years, a European beauty standard will cease to exist. However, there are movements that want to preserve whiteness and white purity and all that bullshit.
What's wrong?
So,
Whoa, bullshit. What's wrong with that?
white
What's wrong with?
purity?
Yeah, what's wrong with white people wanting to
Oh, there's nothing. No.
why'd you call it
I'm
bullshit?
talking white purity.
What's wrong with white purity? What's wrong with
Well,
that?
nothing if you're white. They want to preserve it.
What's wrong with wanting white people to preserve whiteness? What's wrong with that?
Oh, nothing.
Well, what's wrong with it
But
if you're black?
I also argue that that is white supremacy. Why would you want to remain pure white if you didn't think it was supreme?
What's wrong with wanting to preserve
I
your
did
culture?
listen to what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's also nothing wrong with me criticizing it.
How could you criticize something that every culture has?
Easily.
How can you criticize something that every culture has? Do you criticize the Indians?
Okay, no,
The, the Asians?
I
The
think that
Latinos?
I
Why don't
think
you
that's
criticize the Latinos?
fucked up too.
Oh, you think it's fucked up that they like to preserve their culture? Maybe
Okay,
Stanley,
wait, hold it.
maybe you're
Hold
fucked up,
on here.
Stanley.
You're getting the two things confused. Is culture the color of your skin?
It can be.
It
It can
can
be.
be if
It can be deeply rooted.
it can be if you're a racist.
It can be deeply rooted in that. Yeah.
And you know what? If I want to be truthful, there's nothing wrong with being a racist as long as it's not affecting anybody else.
Well,
You
who's
can be
racism?
you can be a racist all you want in your head as long as you're not discriminating.
What's wrong with discrimination?
You know what? You're like my son when he was 2 years old.
Ah, come on, Stanley. Why you gotta?
You're
Well,
questioning the questions.
well, he is
Thank
at
you,
Georgia.
Crown Reese, Beverly Johnson.
He is at Georgia Tech, so I'll take that as a compliment.
Well, all I have to say is I know you're getting a lot of laughs out of this, but
No,
in all reality, I think you are. You're making
there's a
me
lot.
laugh.
There's a
Jane
lot
Kennedy.
of truth.
Oh, wait, hold it. Jane Kennedy, she's the poster child of European beauty standard.
There's a lot of truth in jest, though, Stanley. And what I'm trying to get
And
to you,
this jest that you're making
yeah,
is true maybe to you and those who think like you. My critique is you're denying the reality, and
I'm
it's
not
not going to
denying.
go
I'm
away
not.
just because HB says it ain't so.
I'm not denying an ideology. I'm saying the ideology is not real.
I'm saying if you know it's an ideology, it is real.
You know, there's a lot of people that are flat earthers. They believe the earth is flat.
And you know
There's a
what?
lot.
And there,
There's a
it's real for them.
there's a lot of evidence that points to a flat earth. Now,
You know what?
I think that they might be insane.
So now you want to compare the reality of race in America to flat Earth?
Yes, I think they're very good comparisons. They're very
You
good
know,
comparisons.
I'm
Because
not gonna win this point. So points to you. I'm not gonna continue this foolishness.
and just like with flat earth, you can't really prove this argument unless you're able to get
I
out
can
of the
literally prove it Race in America, you admit that it's real, is based on a European beauty standard,
No, no,
which happened to be skin color.
no, 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 no,
White
no.
skin was judged superior to black skin and yellow skin and red skin. Superior, literally.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Does that make it true though?
Oh, come on.
Does it make
Really?
it true?
Okay.
I have a suspicion that
It makes it true enough to enslave a people. How about that?
I I truly, well, Stanley, you know good and well that the race aspect of slavery didn't come until far after the transatlantic slave trade.
No, that's not true.
It wasn't. It
It
wasn't.
was from the first slaves were brought to America, and I know America's history. I really can't talk for others without having to hit a book. From
Who
1619 to 1663 or so.
who did the
So
white
yeah,
man try to enslave? Who did the white man try to enslave first?
the Indians.
It didn't work out too well, did it?
You know why it didn't?
Yeah, I know why it didn't. I know why it didn't. They kept killing them by their
No,
disgusting.
no,
No, no, no,
no.
no, not
No,
literally killing them.
actually, Indians being natives to the land, if they escaped, they were never found again. They couldn't
Exactly.
keep them enslaved.
That's part of them. They couldn't buck break them to a certain extent. So it had nothing to do
They
with
could
race.
not keep them enslaved.
They couldn't break their spirit. That's what
They
it really
could
was.
not keep them enslaved.
Well, I think we're saying the same thing, Stanley.
We are.
Yeah, I think we're saying the same thing.
So
The
they
race aspect
actually
of
tried to enslave poor whites, but
they
the
did.
poor whites tended to look like their masters, and they also tended to intermingle, commingle, miscegenate. Miscegenate isn't quite the right word. The slaves were identical to the masters physically. They could not keep them enslaved, not reliably.
Stanley, you're proving my point right now. You're proving my point. That
Which is what?
it didn't start out as a racial thing. It was about who could we break.
No, it did not start out as a racial thing. It ended up as a racial thing.
Right, that's my whole point. So the
So
idea
that it
of
didn't
white
start as a
supremacy.
racial thing means there's no European beauty standard?
No, that the idea of white supremacy is just an idea. It's not a
Of course
truth.
it's an idea.
It's not a truth.
As a matter of fact, it's a fiction.
So the idea of white European beauty standards is also just.
I'm afraid it is an idea that manifested itself in real slavery. And then Jim Crow. And then there are still vestiges of racist and racism in 2024. They're still denying that.
Why?
And I'm saying we went from white skin superior in 1662 or 63 to Maybelline in 2024.
The white skin superior thing didn't come until after the transatlantic slave trade.
That is not true.
They had to justify
HB
why they were enslaved.
HB.
That's where that idea came from.
Africans were enslaved. The skin color thing started in about 1450, 1449. African slavery extended a couple centuries before it ever came to America.
Exactly. There were slaves in Africa. There's still slaves.
There were slaves in Portugal.
There's still slaves in Africa. People
Okay,
still
you know what? You can skirt the issue. You can squirm out of it. The bottom line is there is a European beauty standard.
No,
and
there is
it
not.
It started in 1663 with the first slave codes. Slavery in
Stanley.
America was based on skin color. White skin was deemed superior. Every other skin color, not superior.
Stanley,
European beauty standards started with the color of your skin, and it evolved over the years.
I I I I think your argument is not based in reality, facts, or history, Stanley.
And you know what? Think, think think that as much as you want to think it, and then read a book to prove me right.
You know what, Stanley? I think I never thought I would say this to you, but I think you need to read a book.
No, I'm afraid I'm not going to read your type of book.
Ah, come on.
Okay,
No.
I actually read like serious history books. The 1663 is not made up. I also will criticize your critical thinking.
Stanley, the idea of European beauty standards and the white man is above the black man, that didn't come until way after slavery was already.
Okay, you know what? Let's just go ahead and go with your point, which isn't true, but it did come, did it not?
Yeah, it did come, but
Okay,
it was
so it did exist.
Right.
Am I right?
It did exist. Yeah,
So
no,
it
absolutely.
existed. Let's just go with your history.
Okay, no,
My
it did.
point, my
It did
point
exist.
is
It
the
did exist.
European
Okay.
beauty standard existed. If we can agree on that, my work is done.
I don't know, Stanley. Master Ken, what do you think?
Well, I guess what does this all mean? Does it exist today? Earlier you said it's gone. I mean, where do we go from here? I
Well,
guess
I can tell you
let's
why
say
it even came up.
let's say Stanley, you're right about everything you've communicated, oppression, everything. Where do we go
Okay,
from here?
you're going to
What's
get
to come
ahead
up?
of yourself. Don't you want to know why we came to this subject? Would you like to
Yes.
know the backstory, Master Kim?
Yes.
Okay, I forced HB to ask me, Stanley, do you feel oppressed? My answer is no, and I can avoid being oppressed because I know American history. I know things. I know that oppression is possible. You avoid the oppression by knowing the pitfalls that a black man might suffer in America.
I'm glad you said that, Stanley. I'm really glad you said that.
I'm glad I said it too.
I'm really glad.
Now, Master Kim, you kind of know. I was asked, well, give me an example of a system of oppression and a cultural system of oppression. Not so much in 2024, but in the past, it was European beauty standards.
So Stanley, if I can ask you a question, how do you discern someone that just doesn't like you versus racial oppression, or someone that doesn't like you because you support the Falcons? I mean, how do you
Okay,
determine?
well, you
I mean,
know
aren't
what?
people entitled
I
to?
don't really. Now, that's a great question. I don't ask them why they don't like me. I just know they don't like me.
But then you would say that it's oppression
No,
because
I
you're a
wouldn't
black
say
man.
anything. I would see. I'm not going to take the time to ask them why, unless they volunteer the information. I'm not going to assume because somebody doesn't like me that they're racist. Why would I take the time to wonder why?
But you would admit that that does exist also. People pick and choose who they like, who they don't
Oh,
like, and
absolutely,
even
absolutely,
classism, right? Which cannot be
absolutely.
confused with racism.
It
So
doesn't.
there's a lot of
It doesn't
factors
have to be racism.
misconstrued.
Yeah, you're right.
Is racism of a black man, when in fact it's human beings being human beings.
Okay, you're going to belabor the point. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, Stanley. When you say white European beauty standards, I think what you really do
I
by
didn't say
doing that,
white European. I said European.
European. Okay, when you say that's a form of oppression, a system of
No, it
oppression.
was, still is,
Yeah.
but not so much. That's
Okay,
exactly
okay.
what I said.
When you say that though, the reason why it offends me is because Black people were enslaved. They went through Jim Crow. They faced real oppression because
Okay, really?
some gay European Italian designer doesn't want to have some big black woman in his catalog is not oppression. That's not
Yeah,
oppression, Stanley.
okay. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
HB. Yeah,
It's not
HB. I
oppression.
agree. That's not oppression.
It's not oppression. I'm sorry.
Who said it was?
You're saying that
No, I never brought up a big fat woman in a gay designer's catalog.
well, she doesn't represent the European beauty standard, so
Hey,
that's
look,
Well,
I
I
look like
leave it up, I
European
leave it
beauty
up to
right now.
you and the fat black woman to figure out if it's oppression or not. I'm just saying it exists.
is it oppression? Is it oppression to you though?
Do people get judged by their skin color in 2024?
Of course.
In a
I
good,
judge
in a good or
people all the
bad way.
time
Okay,
on their skin color.
okay. Let me ask you why that is.
I do it all the time.
Okay, I didn't ask you what you do. Obviously, you go by race.
Yeah, I judge people by their.
Do
I
you
judge
pick? Do
people.
you go in a boxing match? Do you go by skin color?
Okay, we're not talking that.
I do.
Once
I
again,
do.
You know
I
what my
always
first pick is?
ask.
Look, this will sound crazy. It's not crazy.
People get
I
judged. Hell, white people get judged by the color of their skin, don't
someone
they?
just tried to claim that I was taking transitional medicine earlier. And it was
Aw,
Shutter
come on,
Standard.
Brian.
Some fucking homo was saying that shit. So, but look, I always pick, and when it comes to a boxing match, I always pick the Christian first, regardless of race
Did you say the
or anything.
Christian?
I go with the Christian, yeah. I don't know
Yeah,
why. I
well,
just like,
that
I
that
think I'm like, he's a good dude. If
religious
he's a Christian,
expression
he's a
thing
good
is a
guy.
whole
I swear to God. My first pick, if I don't know him, I'm like, oh, I'm going with the Christian. I don't know why. I just do. Okay. He's a Christian. I'm going for him,
You
right?
know what? You have your own unique form of looking at boxing matches.
Swear to God. Oh, he's a Christian? Oh yeah, I'm going with him. I'm picking him. So that's my first. I don't know why it's my first pick, but it's
Yeah, I'll bet a tithe.
just whatever it is. I think it's I was raised that way, like I was raised in the Christian
Well,
church.
I love the way, you like to, and not you, Ryan. I know you have good sense, but
Come
HB,
on.
I think this is a tough issue. Of,
I think it's cut and dried.
Nah, I don't think it's cut
well,
and
I
dry.
mean, look, I
I don't
think
think it's cut and dry.
I mean, my wife pointed this out the other night. I was watching this show, and it's called Suits, right? And it's about these hotshot lawyers, and a black woman runs the office, right? She's the she's the smartest character on the show, right? She's written to be the smartest character. And even the one guy, Harvey Specter, he's a real sharp guy. He's a good looking dude. And then, but she's always sharper than him. She's always a step ahead of him, right? So she's like the king of the show in a way. And my wife said, notice that she has straight hair, right?
Who
And
has
I never
great
really,
hair?
the woman has straight hair. She straightened her hair, right?
Oh,
And my wife says,
now that's a
do you notice?
European beauty standard
Well,
in and of itself, straightening
I,
your natural
that's
hair.
what I'm saying. And I was like, okay, so who cares? Like a lot of black ladies straighten their hair. They do their hair however the fuck, do it any way you want. She said, yeah, but the thing is that they probably make her straighten her hair because that's what they want the show to have, or maybe it denotes something. But she said it's like it's a built-in racism, right? And I'm like,
Well,
I
I
never thought
wouldn't.
about it, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. I mean,
That's a
I
little
don't. Maybe it is.
no. It's not racism if it's not required. If she's doing it because she wants her hair to be straight, it's not racism.
She wants to be taken seriously. That's why she does it. Right?
You
I don't
think?
know about all that. I mean, I
No,
don't
no,
think.
no, 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 no. When you work in the business world and you work in corporate America, you have to have a certain way that you dress. Even white guys. A white guy can't come in a corporate
Well, we're talking
office.
Well, that's
hair,
true.
not the way you dress.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
you got to
no,
have
no.
like my
Even
hair, like hair like
right,
this.
right, right. Even a white guy, in a corporate setting, a white guy can't come in there with dreadlocks.
No,
Respectfully,
you
he just
can't.
can't. You just can't. You
Well,
want to be
that's
taken
not a
seriously.
European beauty standard.
That is a
I,
European hairstyle that white men have, though. I know a lot. Well, I don't know a lot of white guys, but
I
I've
think
seen a
you
lot
got to
of
have
white.
short hair. If regardless of race, you can't roll in there with hair down to your collar, right? It has to be short. No one. I never
Right.
see anybody with like like a man bun and shit in the accounting department, unless it was
Never,
during COVID.
Unless they're the
So,
boss.
never,
well, the thing
never.
is like I don't know. It's too. I don't even understand why people want long hair like that, guys. I'm like, look, man, it's a lot of work, right? When I was young, I had longer hair. It was just a lot of fucking work, constantly having to deal with the hair, right? And when you have
Yeah,
short hair,
yeah.
you just kind of wake up and go. It's not a lot that goes into it. It's a lot easier.
But Ryan, to your wife's point, it's not that that black lady is conforming to some white beauty standard. I know that's kind of what she was getting at, but
Yeah,
really
she was saying it's
that
not right. It's not fair. It's not.
no,
It's not a
no,
good.
and see, this is why I don't like this ideology, because it makes white people feel like they're a lot more in control of what's going on than they really are. It's not that that black lady wants to conform to a white beauty standard, European beauty standards. It's that she wants to be taken seriously in a professional setting.
Okay,
That's it. That's it.
gotcha.
Okay, that
If
is
she came in
so.
there with if
Why won't she be taken seriously if she doesn't straighten her hair?
because her hair would look unmanaged. When it's straight, it's managed. When it's
Okay,
low
and
cut, it's
you don't
managed.
think you think what is quote managed is not a European beauty standard.
No, because also you could look at the outdoorsman. Look at 12th man.
Okay, HB, I know you're serious, and I'm going to have to
Do you
disengage
think
because
wait, Stanley, do you think do you
this
think
is the sort of
Stanley
stuff that
Stanley
frustrates me. Don't Stanley
Stanley
me. Don't. I'm
no. Let
disengaging
me just
right
ask you
now.
one. Let me just ask you
I'm
one.
not going to win I'm not going to win it. You're either obtuse or trying to be funny. I can't figure out which.
No.
Therefore, I disengage.
Stanley, hold on. Just let me make
No,
He's
this
just
I'm
clear.
trying to
dead
give you a
serious.
hard time.
All right, Stanley, you got two lawyers sitting in front of you. One looks like Ryan and the other one looks like 12th man. Who are you hiring? Same price. Who are
The
you hiring?
smarter one, the one
No.
with the best record.
You don't know the record. You don't know the record. Just by looking at him, 12th
You know
man
what?
or
I
Ryan.
might be crazy enough to hire 12th man because that motherfucker looks like a slob. He must be good.
And that's the
No,
point. You have to be
no,
crazy
I'd
to
never
hire
hire
him.
him.
And you prove my point. You got to be crazy to hire
No,
him.
you European beauty standard of the two, Ryan meets it.
No, Ryan meets the
No,
professional
actually he does.
standard. He looks
Okay, that
professional. He's got his
mountain man is not a European beauty standard. It
I
it
might
just cut
be
my hair
is.
like this
It
because
is.
it's
might be
easy.
an American thing.
No, it's an outdoorsman. There's guys all over the world that have
Oh
that
God,
12th man look. It's a European it's a
Lolo,
beauty.
I don't. You know what, Lolo, you might want to keep my name out of your mouth. Okay, I
Uh
don't
Stanley, where did you get that avatar
kind of
picture at?
patience
come
that
on,
is
Stanley.
required to about 5 words in. I can figure out where a conversation is going. I interrupt to save time. That's why I do it, and no, I can't help his self.
No, but my argument about
Stanley's
hiring
funny.
now this now if you're
Stanley's an
talking
English
about
teacher. He's an English
now if you're
teacher.
talking about somebody who's
Hey,
gonna
you know what?
fix your
I expect white people to hold up their end.
now if you're talking about somebody who's gonna fix your transmission, who would you rather pick, Ryan or 12th man? You'd probably go with 12th man. Oh yeah, he looks like he can
Okay,
fix it.
this is moving goalposts. What
No,
about
it
it?
Who's most likely
what
to
I'm
live
showing
under a bridge? Who's
From my,
most likely to live under a bridge?
Hey,
Well,
No, Stanley. What I'm showing
HB,
you is the hypocrisy in your argument. It's
okay,
hypocritical.
if once again, if you think I'm being hypocritical, I can't help you, son.
Okay, all right. Go
okay,
ahead,
but
Master P.
okay. Here's one. Well, if you brought your chainsaw to a guy and said, "Can you fix this?" Would it be me or 12th man?
What does this
12th
have
man.
to do
12th
with does Stanley feel oppressed?
Well, I mean,
what
Stanley,
I'm
this is
We
what you're
got
not
so
seeing. This is
far
what you're not
afield
seeing.
trying to defeat whether a European beauty standard exists that we've kind of lost the original point.
Yeah, I agree. And the original point by Linwood is that we're all living under a system of white supremacy, which I think I'm where you are, Stanley. You believe that there are certain racial things. However, it's not the guiding principle of our society.
I never claimed it
It's,
was. I
yeah, it's not
literally
everything.
said
I kind of am where you are in a way.
you just have to be aware it exists, and your chances of being oppressed shrink. That's really my only point.
I think it's hard. I think you can economically oppress people, um, but I don't. I think it's. I mean, I don't know how you oppress people nowadays other than economically. Politically, can you oppress people? I don't know how. Like
I'm
the
not
term is
saying
misused.
you're looking for examples of oppression. I gave one. The black dude going to Harvard. Okay. Whether you think it's oppression or not,
Yeah,
going to a school where no matter what your grade point average was, they keep thinking and it's insinuating that you're here, you wouldn't make it here without affirmative action. That is literally a form of oppression. Now, it may
Yeah,
affects different people differently. Clarence
yeah.
Thomas, as I also added, was right. Affirmative action had reached its expiration date. I don't have to worry about black kids going to elite
see,
schools
Stanley,
and being thought
that
of differently.
that just offends me. You're talking about a black kid at
I
Harvard
don't give a shit if I
complaining
offend you, HB. The
complaining
truth
about
sometimes
complaining
offend.
complaining about oppression. He's just getting picked on. It's a difference. He's a black kid at Harvard.
Hey,
He's
Okay,
not
so
oppressed.
being picked on is not a form of oppression?
No, it's
Oh
you're being
God.
bullied. You're being bullied.
A bullying is an oppression, certainly not.
No, you gotta stand up for yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
So
So as soon as he knocks that white boy out, then he's really gonna be oppressed.
nah, that white boy's gonna be
hey,
He's,
oppressed.
he's gonna be impressed into a
I think
jail.
I will say this that this is an interesting thing. So you got the really the foundation of the slave trade was Portugal, right? And
Uh,
listen, man, this is really incredible. The Portuguese were the first and worst at this, right? And now, if you look at where Portugal is, it is a quasi dump hole in Europe. Like they got no money, they're broke, and they're really it's almost like an agrarian place. You know what I mean? And they're now the lowest in the lowest place. And if you look at what Black Americans have done, they can buy and sell Portugal. They have more money than all of Portugal times like
Your
two.
point would be what?
I think it's really a good thing. It's kind of a cosmic justice, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
wait,
like Black
Master
American
Q.
buying power has never been higher, and that's why when people talk about oppression, I'm like, look, man, Black people are kicking ass right now, right? So,
Well,
when
can
I
you
hear
put
that,
that
I'm
back?
like, they got more money than all of Europe, like European countries and shit. Like that economy alone is bigger than the Portuguese economy, right?
Well,
And there's more people in Portugal.
and see, this is the difference.
I think they're doing well. That's all. You know?
We are. I'm
Yeah.
just making a cultural point. I'm not making an economic point. Economics is one way you might oppress someone. But again, I think when you start comparing Black Americans or America to what other countries are doing, you dilute the point. Okay.
Well,
I don't care what Portugal does. I care about what
you
America
dilute the
does.
point too,
Well, so do I.
Stanley.
But
When you
okay,
compare
sorry.
it to the past, you dilute the point too.
You could make that argument, but all I'm saying, and I actually
Well,
did,
I appreciate that, Stanley.
I all I'm saying is that it still exists. You just
Nah.
need to know how to avoid it.
And see, that's the when you say you need to learn how to avoid it. That's the part where you won't answer. How can a fat
If you
black
go
woman
to
avoid it?
Harvard and you know that there are going to be people thinking you're just there because, of affirmative action. You know what to expect.
You guys just like
Armed,
arguing. No, you just like arguing.
Armed or forewarned is forearmed.
I agree. I think that's the I don't really look at it as oppression as it is more their insecurities more than anything. So I guess it's just how you look at it.
Well, you know what? Someone like you, it actually wouldn't affect.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't affect me. I just feel like, they have an insecurity about themselves. So
okay,
100%.
so let me push Stanley on this.
Now, let me give you a scenario. Say somebody coming from deep South Georgia with an accent winds up at Harvard.
Mhm.
Okay, they're gonna have as a freshman, they're gonna have a lot of things going on, being far away from home, having to deal with a Boston winter, etc. So they're already in a vulnerable kind of emotional place, I would imagine. Having this extra thing added on, who knows?
Yeah. But you're at Harvard, though, Stanley. Yeah.
Okay,
Right, so
you know
look,
what?
so look,
Harvard isn't the end all and be all. I'm just using it as an example.
Kinda.
All right, let me ask this question. Let me ask a question of the group. So do you think when Joe Biden said, I'm going to nominate, hold on, who do we just lose?
We just lost Master Kim.
Okay. All right, let me ask you a question then. So do you think it helped Ketanji Brown Jackson? Do you think it helped her or helped her situation when this woman, right? She went to Harvard and Yale, right? She went to two top schools. She's obviously highly educated, highly intelligent. Do you think it helped her when Joe Biden said,
"No,
I think I'm going to pick me for this judicial seat. I'm going to pick me a black woman." Do you think that helped her?
Not.
I mean, I'm like,
okay. Now I understand your point. Don't know why you need to go farther with it.
All right, thank you.
Okay, in a weird sort of way, well, we all know Joe Biden is a racist and has a racist past. Now he may be a well-meaning racist. He was so racist, and you could almost call him a white liberal here, thinking number one, he was pandering. Okay, that's obvious.
Always.
He was pandering to South Carolinians to get their vote. Okay, that is a form of racism. Maybe benign, probably not. Okay, a perfectly good, well-established, well-regarded, probably one right now, she's arguably one of the smartest questioners on the Supreme Court. Hell no, it didn't help her.
Yeah.
Now the
problem, he could have done it without saying, "This is what I'm going to do," right? Just do it. What's that?
The problem is it wasn't the kind of position she could pull the pride card and go, "Fuck you," get another black woman.
Yeah. Well, she did a good job, and the Republicans came at her hard, and she still did a pretty good job. The only thing they caught her on was what is a woman, right? That's all they got her on, really. They got no sound bites out of it other than that. So,
well, the what is a woman thing. Anyway, the point is it was its own special kind of racism, arguably.
I think this is what the liberal does. I think the liberals, in a sense,
absolutely
infantilize.
Get an argument out of me.
Yeah, it's I'm just like, oh my god, it's almost shocking to me. And I have
it wasn't shocking to black people.
Yeah.
I still haven't decided what I like more, this open hatred or quiet hatred, because both of them has their own benefits. So I haven't decided.
I think the liberals
I hate them both.
Yeah.
What, liberals and
which one's preferable?
Well, when they do this sort of thing, yeah. I don't need to decide the benefits or anything like that. I think they should both go away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the European beauty standards for a second?
Oh, yeah. Let's beat that dead horse, shall
Master Kim?
No. I just want Okay, and again, this has nothing to do with the United States, but I'm using this as an example. Okay, as the economy is improving in Nigeria, and guess what they're exporting into those regions? Tons of hair relaxer and virgin weave. Why would they be doing that? Influence of white
because there's
culture.
an African beauty standard.
Okay, to have
I'm
straight hair.
fucking kidding. What do you think?
Hollywood.
No, I'm
Realize
asking.
you do
Zero
realize
influence of white.
Nigeria was a British colony, right?
Okay, but there's the white people that in their hair and adding extensions and everything. There's no
I
white
agree with that.
beauty standard being pushed out. So just
Well, maybe they want to get away from a European beauty standard. Obviously, you're not smart enough to figure out that trying to get away from a European beauty standard means they're getting away from something.
but then why would they be ordering off the hook hair
Oh,
relaxer
god
and
damn.
hair
Okay,
weave,
so
virgin weave?
are you trying to say that there is no European beauty standard because Nigerians are buying
We say
hair relaxer?
Africa with zero European influence today are on their own.
Africa has zero European influence today. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
They're all
Okay, you know, I don't know what to say.
I'm gonna say, bah, wrong.
Okay, so who's telling the women there? I'm assuming to get the weaves and the straight hair and the lace
Oh,
fronts.
the media, Hollywood, they get that stuff imported.
No,
In Africa?
Yes.
European beauty standards don't get transported via Hollywood movies for about 100 years.
Okay, well, what about their employers who are going to be Africans? Are they demanding that?
I don't
What's up
know.
with that?
I don't live
We
in
need to study
Nigeria.
it.
I honestly don't know that much about what a Nigerian boss might demand.
Okay.
That's why I like to stick to America. I know America.
Mr. Kim dropped off. Master Kim.
Oh, he'll be back.
Yeah, you guys like to get into it a little bit there, Stanley.
No, I thought he was very polite and very respectful and asked good questions.
Stanley, where is your avatar pick from? Where is this from?
My son's high school library.
It looked because I was like I wondered if you won an award or something. It looks like you
My
won an
son
award.
did.
Okay, I thought
That
almost
little
looks like
green sleeve in front of me.
like
That's
maybe
him.
an author or something.
No, that was his Georgia Tech ceremony.
Gotcha.
He
Okay.
got accepted
That's cool.
early.
That's awesome. Yeah, I wondered that. I said, I wonder where. Oh, I thought maybe you got an award of some sort. So,
Well, I did. My son got one.
well, no, he did the
I got
work. So
I got a reward.
he did the work, buddy, not you. So
Oh well, no. I
he
told
did
him
it.
to.
Well, I always say that. Someone will say that about my daughter. They'll say, "You must be very proud." She gave the commencement speech at her school, and I said, "I didn't
Oh
do any
wow.
of that work. She did the work, not me. I didn't do. I'm nothing in this equation." So,
You just
but
provided the food, the shelter, the clothes, the
yeah, but you know what?
electronics.
Both of my daughters they've done their work, and now my stepson, like he's done well. He's killing it right now. At the end of the day, like they did the work. I participated, but so
Well, you know very well as a parent, every now and again you got to do a level set.
yeah, yeah.
My son literally told me when he was in 7th grade he got a C in a class, and he said, "Well, what are you upset about? It's a passing grade." I busted out laughing.
Dude, my daughter in 6th grade, my daughter came in and she was hyperventilating, and I said, "What's wrong, honey?" And she said, "Dad, I gotta tell you something. I gotta deal my report card, you know. And she's she said, "How come you're not mad?" And I said, "You're you're punishing yourself well enough at this point. Like I don't need to I don't need to punish you." And I said, "Hey, you know, people make mistakes. You got a D, turn it around, and I'm confident you will based on how you are right now." She was hysterically crying, and that was the last D she ever got. So
That's a good thing.
yeah, but they work. Who the hell's calling me now? Hey, hang on a minute. Let me see what this is about. I'll be back in a minute.
Oh my goodness, am I the only one here? Oh, hey Hank.
All right, I'm back. I had to deal with some bullshit. I got these fucking customers want to call me all day. So
Are you working from home?
I always work from home.
Oh
Every
boy,
day that I come up here, I'm working. I'm
working
always
my
working.
nerves.
Yeah, I'm always working. But you know, um, but no, whenever I drop off, it means somebody's calling me with something.
Well, Hank,
Listen,
what do you think? This is a grand mess. These panels.
Uh, I've seen worse panels, especially running a fest. So for beauty standards, well, I think they're pretty much the only way to come with European beauty standards is you get a set of all the Europeans, whoever they are now, and dump their beauty standards into a pot. Then I guess you average over it. It's kind of not very just. It's not all
Well,
that useful.
here's the deal. I tend to differ from a lot of folks. Not so much Ryan, but other folks. I look at America through a historical perspective. Okay, I I don't look at, you know, 70 years like Be Brave, or I look at almost 60 years like a Stanley, or the younger folks. um I can explain a lot of what happens today through American history because some of the same things happen. So when I say there's a European beauty standard, I'm not just talking 2024. I think in 2024 you can pretend it doesn't exist and get away with it. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It means it's not pervasive enough to really affect your life a good portion of the time. Um, it exists. Knowing it exists means you might avoid it a higher percentage of the time, is my only point.
well, okay, but
Okay,
Stanley,
when
look,
Joy Reid dyes her hair blonde, people are going to make comments about a black woman with blonde hair, as many did on this channel. When she wears a blonde wig, she's going to catch flack for a black woman wearing a blonde wig like on this channel. My point being, the European beauty standard demands that, hey, there's an incongruity here. Something is not like the other.
what's most interesting is there are, you know, if you look at Southeast Asia, uh there's in certain areas like their hair turns, they're Asian but they're darker, right, in terms of complexion, and like the Samoans, their hair turns blonde over there because it's a fish diet. They eat a lot of fish, so I find that interesting.
I'm sorry, say that again. Who's eating a fish diet?
If you look at like I think it's Papua New Guinea maybe, or I
Okay,
know in South. Go ahead.
okay. I understand that it
It doesn't
exists.
really tie back to what you're talking about. I agree with what you're
It
saying.
doesn't.
I agree with what you're saying.
But I mean, if you want to move on, please do. I'm tired of talking about it.
Well, yeah, I guess I think the thing is there is a standard, but I don't think that I like. For example, I think short hair is you can be black or white and have short hair as a man, right? And
Right.
I don't think it's necessarily European. It's just short hair is the acceptable business attire in the United States, right? Long hair is
Well,
not.
well, it
I don't think
depends on
that's
how much money you
European.
have. If you're a freaking rock star, you can have long hair.
Well, I don't want to go to a surgeon with like dreadlocks and shit. I don't want to go to a surgeon that looks like he just is in a band that plays. He's a bassist, you know. If I go
Yeah.
to a surgeon, I want him to have short hair. He's getting ready to do heart surgery on me. If he has like long ass hair or some other crazy facial hair, he's got a goatee and shit. I'm like, what's going on with this guy? You know what I mean? So I don't know if that's European or just an American thing. You know, is that just an American thing? So like the Vikings didn't have certainly short hair, right? So I just think that's the acceptable thing. You know, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but um, I I oops, I misspelled this word. Yeah, I get your point.
I prioritize how good they are at operation.
Well, okay, but like, let's say you're laying there, Hank. You're getting ready to put you under the knife, and the doctor comes walking in. He's got a goat. He's got like he's got them pork chops, right, on his face, right, or some kind of odd or non-conforming hair situation, beard, something. Maybe he's got a septum piercing like these people have now. These liberal women have. I'm going to be like, okay, what's
Liberal
happening? Who is
women.
this person? I'm not getting a tattoo. I'm getting heart surgery. Please send me a doctor. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't know. That's just my
Now,
view.
if I enforce my guess appearance preferences, I probably talk to like literally no one. So, some people sometimes you have compromise.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying they're good or bad at surgery. I'm just saying that it's a we go into things thinking that way. I think that's pretty normal. So anyway, I don't know. What's
Excuse
the
me.
topic?
Uh, well, I didn't. Once again, I did not expect to be on. Uh, at this time, I expected to be asleep.
Where is
Ah,
everyone?
I don't know. HB will be back. He's trucking out in the hinterland.
He's
trying to
trucking.
say